Well, hello there. You are listening to Nellyville, the podcast. And I'm Black. Hello, shalom. Welcome back to Nellyville, the podcast, the place to be. So happy to have you back once again. And if this is your first time here, thank you for joining us. We love to have you. Nellyville is for everyone, except for the shady. Well, you know what? Even the little bit of shady, because a little bit of shade is a little bit of fun sometimes. Hello. Anyways, so let's just get right into it. Okay, this is season 9, episode 2. We're on a roll here. You know, if this is your first time here, I really encourage you to go back and binge watch. We're on like 70 something episodes here, so you got a lot to catch up on in the Nellyville atmosphere. But if you want to start with this episode, that is okay too. With all that being said, let's jump into hot topics. But anyway, so guess where I got to start, y'all? Okay, last week we ended the podcast. I think it was the end. We talked about Little Miss Gracie Abrams. Okay, and remember when I said, "Oh, this the Gracie Abrams. Oh, I think she's so cute. I love the little girl." Da, 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 da. And then, do you remember what I said after that? I hope she doesn't make me have to redact my statement. And here we are. We couldn't even make it a week. We could not even make it a week. Now look, I'm not saying that I'm completely not a fan anymore. Look, the sirens are coming to get me. Look, because I just respected their queen. Y'all heard the sirens? Baby, look, I'm not saying that I don't like her. But it has been brought to my attention that she did something that I'm kind of like, girl, I don't know. So supposedly, allegedly, word on the street is when she gets her little gifts at the concerts, she throws them away, honey. So you know how the fans go to the concerts and the shows and, you know, they give the little artwork, the little posters, you know, the teddy bears, the little baked goods, you know, whatever, right? Well, somebody being shady at one of the concert venues posted and said, oh, took a picture of all this stuff and was like, oh, I feel so bad throwing all of this away. Look, first of all, we'll talk about Miss Gracie right here, but whoever posted that, you gonna mess around and lose your job. Because if an artist asks you to do something, whatever it may be, it is not for you as a worker at the venue or someone on her team or whatever. It is not for you to take a picture of it and post it or talk about it online. This is why people have NDAs and all this other kind of stuff. What? And they had to know that that was going to cause a ruckus, that was going to start a conversation. You know, was this person wrong for calling her out? Yes and no. As a professional, yes, you were wrong. And if it gets back to, I'm pretty sure it'd be easy to figure out who it was that posted it. I know as a future artist or a future, you know, contractor, vendor or whatever, I'm not going to want you around because obviously you do not know how to respect people's privacy and just respect the social construct of what happens in the show stays in the show. It is not for you to go be. Why are you doing that? Trying to get a little bit of clout off of my name or off of the artists that come in this venue. So from a professional standpoint, yes, that was wrong. Now, as a fan, as a Samaritan, as a citizen, was this person in the right to share this? Maybe. You know, because it's nice to see people's true colors come out. And also, you know, look, if you want to be her fan, maybe, you know, don't waste your $20 on getting a teddy bear because she's not going to take it. Now, why Miss Gracie Abrams is throwing the stuff away? I mean, it could be a few things. Okay? Now, where she messed up, look, if you got the stuff, you got the gifts, and you didn't want to keep it, baby, you should have took care of throwing it away and discarding it yourself. Because you're old enough to know, you've been in the industry long enough to know that if you ask somebody to do something, you better be prepared. If you don't want it out there, you better be prepared. Somebody is going to put all your business out there. And I just feel like it was just very sloppily. And you had to know, like, if that gets out, that's really gonna hurt your fans' feelings. And the person who posted it, you could have just said Gracie Abrams doesn't keep her stuff, she throws it away. I feel bad for throwing it away. But the fact that you took pictures of the stuff and posted it, that really hurt someone's feelings, because obviously people who gave it to her were people, they're diehard fans. They bought tickets to the show, they went out and picked this thing and made this thing and brought it to her, and they're going to see it and they're going to know that it's in the trash. You really crushed someone's feelings. And I feel like you could have got the word out there without jeopardizing your career and without hurting specific people's feelings. Now, Little Miss Gracie, maybe she takes some of it. Maybe she takes what she can, and what can't fit in the carry-on, it just can't go. Okay? Maybe she has certain allergies. Maybe, she has certain phobias, or I don't know. But I think, as an artist, look, if these fans give you stuff, I'd say do your best to try to take what you can. Now, if it's something like food and flowers, yeah, man, ain't nobody traveling with all that. Also, don't bring food, because you don't know what allergies people have. You don't, you know what I'm saying? And these artists, they're not going to eat it, because no offense to the fans, they don't know what you done put up in there. It could be anything from cat food to Clorox to so skibbity bobbity boop drugs. Baby, don't bring people, don't. That's gonna go in the trash. But like little teddy bears, artwork, little keychains, stuff like that, do your best to keep it or re-gift it or something. Do something. And if it must get left at the venue, if it must get thrown away, try to do it as discreetly as possible, because that's one of the quickest ways to get on your fans' bad side. But so, are we done with Gracie Abrams? Not necessarily, but I'm gonna keep my eye out and I'll keep y'all posted. Anyway, so speaking of pop stars and artists and tours and concerts, let's talk about Doechii. Let's talk about the Little Miss Doechii. Y'all know, the girl who sings Anxiety, What It Is. She's got some hits, right? She's been around for the last few years. She's out here dipping in and doing it. She had her little fiasco at the Met Gala, the most recent Met Gala, where she was yelling at the paparazzi and her team because the paparazzi found her at the hotel, which was going to ruin her reveal at the Met Gala, blah, blah, blah. Y'all know. Y'all know the things. Well, come to find out, Little Miss Doechii was supposed to appear in 3 festivals in Europe, and days before has pulled out of these 3 festivals, 1, 2, and 3. And there has not been an explanation. Now, this on the heels of, she's supposed to be going on a 30-day tour, which when I saw that she was having a 30-day tour, I was thinking, hey, the girls are really just in and out, aren't they? Which I'm like, well, the music industry's really changed, blah, blah, blah. But some people did point it out, like, damn, she's only touring for a month, and it's really not even really 30 days. It's like barely 30 days. It might be 30 days, but I don't know. But, hey, the music industry has changed. And maybe she's going to do 30, take a break and do 30 more. I don't know. Ain't none of my business. I'm not touring. I'm just saying that I noticed it was... Normally tours aren't 30 days, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's supposed to start in October. Her tour, Straight Out the Swamp, or whatever it's called, right? And it is very odd. I really hope that she is okay, but I hope that it is a really good reason why she canceled this tour, canceled 3 festivals. Not canceled the tour, canceled 3 festivals in like just a day or 2 before that these festivals were supposed to happen. And there's been no explanation. So I hope that I hope that she's okay, but I hope that it is a legitimate, reason. We've talked about before with Chaperone and a few of these other girlies, they do not conduct themselves the way that divas past have conducted themselves. The professionals before, the Patti LaBelles, the Aretha Franklins, the Mariah Careys, the Whitney Houstons, the professional dolls. So, I'm hoping Doechii can come correct with something that, not tragic, but something that's like, okay, that's understandable. I hope it's not something like, well, I had anxiety. Girl, we know you wrote a whole song about it and we can't get away from it. Okay, we know. But look, and I'm not saying that anxiety can't be crippling, it can't be stifling. I'm not even saying that that's what it is. I just hope it's not something, oh, I hurt my big toe, or oh, I just wasn't feeling it. Like how these little basketball players do. They got a little sneeze all of a sudden. They don't feel like playing. People done bought all this money to buy tickets to go see these specific players, and they not even playing because ow, my elbow. Child. Anyway, so I don't know. Doechii, I hope you another one. You came out the gate strong, and I had high hopes for you, but I don't know, little girl. I think I don't know. Your team needs to get you together because I see you going left. And, some people pointed out something interesting that, I kind of really didn't think about, but it makes sense. They were like, this just goes to show. People were talking about her concert and whether or not it was sold out or why it was only 30 days and blah, blah, blah. And people are like, well, this is the issue with the industry. They have these bots and stuff that are contributing to these streams. And then you have, the higher ups telling us who the superstars are when they haven't actually really obtained the numbers. So, she's a Grammy Award winner. She won Best Rap Album or something. And the album only sold like 11,000 copies. Which, look, album sales have been low since digital streaming has come into play. So I'm not exactly sure what her streaming numbers are looking like, but 11,000 copies and you won a Grammy. Now, I know there's other factors that go into that, but I don't know, man. When you have people like Nicki Minaj who's never won a Grammy, I'm not even a fan of her like that. But that is very odd that you have somebody like that who has never even gotten one, and then you have people their first and second albums coming out. People like Megan Thee Stallion got Grammys, right out the gate. You got Doechii getting Grammys right out the gate. Lizzo got Grammys right out the gate. I think, and Doja Cat, I don't know if she's a Grammy Award winner or not, but she might be another one. You got all these girls, Cardi B, right out the gate. And then I'm like, I don't know, man. But Megan and Cardi, I feel like had the numbers to back it up. It made sense. Lizzo had the numbers. Doechii, I don't know. I do kind of feel like they kind of just told us, yeah, she's a superstar. Now, she has a great voice, good music. Don't get me wrong. But she does seem kind of industry pushed. It's no Sade. Am I saying she didn't deserve to be pushed? No, she's great. I'm not crazy about the anxiety song, but she has other songs that I do like. But I feel like, uh, I feel like her sound is evolving already, and I kind of like Doechii in the more earlier years. So I don't know, girl. I don't know who's advising you or what's going on, but you about to end your career before it really takes off. So I'm gonna need for somebody to get back in the meetings and get it together. Cause whoever your people are, they're not helping. They're leading you right into the ground. But Doechii, we wish you well. We wish you luck. What can I say? Anyways, speaking on people who have the pop culture girlies divided. Can we talk about Raven-Symoné and her wife Miranda for a second? Now look, y'all know I love me the Raven. Love Raven. And she has a podcast with her wife, Miranda. And I mean this with the utmost respect. Okay? I know this is a little shady, but I would really love to watch or listen to that podcast. but I can't because what's the nicest way I could put this? I just don't feel like Miranda has it. Now, maybe Miranda would do great on another platform. Maybe she has, I'm sure she has, everyone has strengths. I don't think that podcasting is one of them. Now, could it be because in comparison to somebody who is as seasoned as Raven, who has been working since, her entire life, who has had hosting jobs, who did The View for a long time, who is very poised and articulate, and she's just born and bred in the industry, right? She has the chops. Now, Miranda did start this podcast, I believe. She had a podcast before by herself. I don't know if this integrated into the same one or if this was a separate one, but it really wasn't doing numbers. It's hard out here for a pimp. So then, cut to when she does the podcast with the wife, Raven. Of course, the numbers jump up because Raven has a pretty solid hardcore fan base, right? Duh, right? I just find it very hard to listen to. And a lot of people have the same sentiment of ain't nobody trying to see you, Otis, when it comes to that. Everybody's like Raven and her wife. Most people haven't even taken the time to learn the woman's name, which is a little disrespectful, but it just is what it is. It's no shade. Raven is the star, and it's who are you? And I think people got rubbed the wrong way because a couple years ago or last year, Miranda made a point to express that she didn't really grow up with Raven. She didn't even really know she knew who she was, but she wasn't like that familiar with her work and blah blah blah. And I think we're all similar in age. I don't know how old Miranda is, but I'm like, girl, what rock did you live under? Now, look, I will say, not that color matters, but this is a little white girl. It is a little white girl, okay? So maybe she didn't grow up with the Cosby Show or hanging with Mr. Cooper, Dr. Doolittle, That's So Raven, the Cheetah Girls, and on and on. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe not. Okay? So I don't know if that needed to be expressed that hard. I think what Miranda was trying to do was, I'm not just some groupie that sought Raven out. And I think that maybe she leaned a little hard into that narrative. Because if you are within our age group, especially, I mean, everyone knows who Raven Simone is. It is a pretty popular household name and has been for a very, very long time. Raven Simone, okay? But I get it if maybe you weren't a Disney kid or something like that. Okay, cool, that makes sense. But you didn't need to lay it on that thick. But I get you weren't trying to look like a groupie. But it came off like you were trying to humble your wife. Some people said. And I can see why people would say that. So you kind of already rubbed people the wrong way. So then cut to when on the podcast they started having guests from the Disney Channel, right? Who were on there back in the days. Then all of a sudden Miranda she was chiming in with these opinions and these, she had a lot of conversation for these Disney guests who you claim you didn't grow up with. And it's like, girl, didn't you say you didn't know that much about it? Now here you are, you're speaking on it like you have firsthand experience, like you wasn't like you was all up in there, like you was all up on set. What are you doing? I don't know. She just hasn't mastered the art of the delicate conversation, the delicate dialogue back and forth that it takes to do a podcast. And it can be very jarring. And then now, they're just really one of those couples that you see them together all the time. And I love a good duo. I get it. But sometimes I would like to see Raven by herself. Like Raven and Miranda. Okay, so Monet Exchange was on. their podcast, and then Raven and Miranda came and did Monet Exchange podcast. And that would have been nice to have just had Raven and Monet. Because I don't know, it was just certain things like Raven would get started telling a story, then here come Miranda jumping in, or Raven and Monet would have like this black culture moment, and Miranda tries to chime in. It's like it's not it's forced. It was forced, and I could tell because I listen to Monet a lot. I listen to Monet talks, and then of course I listen to Monet with on sibling rivalry with Bob the Drag Queen. So I'm very very familiar with Monet's style of podcasting, and it just seemed like even Monet was thrown a little off of the podcasting game. Like, it was a good show. Recommend the episode, but you could just tell that I think even Monet was like, okay, girl, you kind of throwing off the feng shui here. Like, I don't know. I mean, I wish them well. I liked them as a couple, but then cut to one day last week. Now there's a clip floating around of Miranda. She's like, it was like last week's episode or something. With the Allison Stoner girl, the Missy Elliott girl was on there. It's that episode. And so Allison's trying to tell something. Here come Miranda jumping in with, like, girl, let people talk. But anyways, Miranda's like, yeah, and I just don't understand why people keep asking me why I'm on this show, and they keep saying they don't like me, and they keep asking why am I on the podcast, and this is my podcast, like, da da da. And Raven's just like, listen, but she kind of give that look like, girl, calm down. Like, she kind of like glanced at the camera like, okay. Anyway, so like, in other words, like, you're trying to make it like, baby, we're not here for you, all this. And whether this is your podcast or not, which, yes, people should not be mean. They should not be saying we don't like you, we don't want you here. Because if that's how people feel, then don't watch it. Because I don't watch or listen. I try to catch the clips, but I don't know. I might try it again in a few months. Maybe it'll get a little better. But as right now, where it is and how it is, baby, I can't do it. And I just keep scrolling. But don't get it twisted. This might be your show, but if you could really do it by yourself, your wife would have never stepped up to try to help you. If you really felt like this, and I think the podcast is called whatever it's called, with Raven and Miranda. Her name is first. So obviously, everyone's on the same. It's no shade to Miranda, but at the end of the day, there is somebody who's going to be bringing the numbers in. Somebody's name has to go first. And unless you are Mary-Kate and Ashley or a Bob and Monet or something like that, where it is truly even. No, usually the person whose name is first is the one bringing the people in. They are the main. That doesn't mean that people don't like you or appreciate you, but let's keep it 100 up in here. Like somebody said, do a couple episodes by yourself, Miranda, and see what them analytics do. See what them numbers talking about. Do an episode by yourself. Just do a couple of them. But I don't know, man. It is giving Raven trying to be a supportive wife and help Miranda do something to contribute and do some things. But that's a couple times now where you try to downplay who Raven is, and people already don't. I ain't gonna say people don't like you, but people don't like you, little girl. So don't do that. Don't. This is my show, girl. I don't care whose name's first. It could be called the Miranda show. It's still gonna be the Raven show because she's the star. We don't know you, girl. Most people don't even know. Anyways, I could go on and on, but anyways, let me know what y'all think about that. And this is the last thing I'm saying. I'm gonna let y'all go. So it was just this cute little video. If y'all want to see it, ask me, I'll send it to you. But anyways, it's this girl. It's this girl. If you can find it, look it over. It's too funny. This girl, she's trying to learn how to do the ducking on her wedding for her wedding day, and the wedding day is in October. And man, it's a black girl, but man, the struggle was real. Somebody said, "Baby, push the wet back. You need more time." Right? So and the comments were so funny, and I was just like, "Girl, look, it's your day. It is your special day, and people will uninheritedly try to go out of their way to make you feel like that is your special day. So do what you can do on the dance floor." But after that, you might want to go ahead and retire that dance because you ain't gonna have the grace of wedding pleasantries to say. Because man, it was. I mean, when I say she was trying her hardest, and man, it was so funny. The comments. Let me see if I can pull up some of the comments because I'm thinking, girl, you are really over here trying. And then she had the nerve to put on a video like showing her how to do the dance. Baby, we couldn't see the video like how we couldn't see the video of who was trying to teach her, but you could tell it wasn't nobody. It sounded like somebody didn't have enough. How can I say? It wasn't nobody black. Let's just cut right to the. Let's see, Doechii dance wedding. Learn Doechii for wedding. Let's see. Okay, here she go. Man, okay, let me see some of these comments. Somebody said, push the wedding back. You need more time. Somebody said, perhaps a different dance. And then this somebody said, he gonna love you regardless, sister, with a picture of Nene Leakes. And man, the pictures that people are posting is so funny. Somebody said, you made me forget how to ducking. Somebody said, who is that teaching you on that damn TV? Tell the DJ to skip over this song, sister. I think, all right, let's see. Hold on, man. It's just so funny. I mean, she's like, baby, it ain't no parts of it dance. It's funny. Y'all gotta see it. Y'all gotta see it. It's good. You're so close, but so far at the same time. Okay, let me see. So she's supposed to be getting married this October. Somebody said, so how does October 2026 sound? Ain't a bit of encouragement in these comments. I mean, it is so funny. But anyways, it's cute to try to see people to learn how to do the little dances for the wedding. But I didn't realize the people still out here trying to learn how to do the Dougie. I guess that is a fun wedding dance. Anyways, good luck to that girl. Anyways, if y'all want to look her up, I guess I could just say her name so y'all can look her up. Let's see. The little girl's name is the Foxy Poet. Baby, good luck, little girl. Good luck to you. But anyway, that's all I have for today. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and for listening. Don't forget to check out YouTube every Wednesday. You know, there's the TikTok. Come find me on all of my other socials. Let me know how you feel about all the things we talked about today. The little Gracie Abrams, the little Doechii, the little Miranda and Raven, the little woo woo, this and that and the third. What dances did you do at your wedding? Or what's the song? What's a wedding song that gets the people on the floor? Okay, I know the people still do the cha-cha slides and the electric slides. Are they doing the little trail ride line dances now? We boots on the ground at the wedding hall? What else is getting the people to the dance floor? Okay, are people still walking down the aisle to Celine Dion? Is that retired? What are we doing? Huh? Okay, I don't know. Let me know something good. Okay, anyways, but y'all take care. Love you so much. Okay, bye.